Welcome, everybody. Today is March 8th, 2023, and today is a special day around the world, especially here in the soccer community. Today is International Women's Day. Woohoo! Huge shout out to all the women out there, especially all of the women who are associated with the beautiful game, helping it grow, helping it develop, and ultimately leading their community to a brighter future. Thank you so very much for all that you do. I have a tremendous special guest today. I'm super excited. The one, the only Mr. Buford Mobley. Welcome to the show, Mr. Mobley. How we doing today?
Oh, doing great, Austin. Glad to be here.
Love it, love it. So for those for those of you out there that don't know Buford, he is the founder of the Facebook group, The Soccer Parent Lifestyle. I've followed his journey for an incredibly long time. He's got a tremendous story on what brought him to the game, how he's still associated, and what he's doing for the beautiful game that we all love. Um, Buford, for those that don't know your story, in your own words, talk to us. Why did you start the Soccer Parent Lifestyle group?
Okay, it started back a few years ago. Got a son that used to play. He's a freshman in college and has hung up his competitive cleats. But when he started, he turned out he was pretty good, and I me not being a part of the game beforehand, I really didn't have any idea how to help him. And so I started asking parents around, and nobody really knew what I need to do to help him. And it just frustrated me to no end that, I had a kid that seemed like he was pretty good and I couldn't do anything for him. So I just took it upon myself to learn everything that I could about the game, about youth soccer. I talked to, I'm sure, over 100 coaches and talked to parents and anybody who basically had any knowledge of the game. I I picked their brains, and about 5 or 6 years ago, I started a little blog back when that was semi-popular uh, about youth soccer, and had no idea if anybody would read it. Basically, just doing it for myself, and then Facebook started groups, and I thought, well, there got to be a. I know there are a lot of parents out there who, just like me, who want to help their kids and don't really know how, and don't really have anybody to turn to, and maybe can't go to their club and ask them questions directly. So I started the Facebook group, not knowing if anybody would join, and it's just grown and grown and grown since then. And this is my second Facebook group actually, and it's grown to we're about 21,000 parents now. So that's a short story in a nutshell.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. I've followed your journey for a long time. I also empathize and relate with your son Dante's journey, right? I put myself in his shoes as we've discussed several times, and ultimately I think a lot of parents out there can relate to the pain that you had mentioned, as well as looking, searching, seeking for resources to help them overcome that pain. So yeah, the group itself is incredible. The resources within the group, the support within the group for parents is remarkable. I'm not a soccer parent, but there is a lot of resources for refereeing, for tournaments, for apparel. Really, it touches all aspects of the game. So major kudos to you for stepping up to the plate and creating something that is for anybody and everybody who has questions or needs that guidance. Now, tell the audience, what is your sport? What is your background? Did you have any soccer background before Dante's journey?
Not at all. I grew up playing football, basketball, baseball. Uh, Played football in high school, was pretty good. actually walked on at Clemson my freshman year and got hurt the second day of practice, and then said, "Well, I better just go to class." But I had never seen a soccer game until I got to Clemson, and just happened to walk by the field by accident, and was actually on first date with my wife, and I thought I'd impress her, so I said, "Well, look, let's go watch the game," and it was free. So, but I didn't have any involvement with the game, and matter of fact, my wife signed Dante up for soccer when he was 4 or 5, and I was actually a little ticked off because I wanted him to sign up for football. And once he started playing soccer, it's pretty evident that that's what he wanted to do. We signed him up for t-ball, and he played that one season and didn't like it. And so once he started playing soccer, he was all soccer all the time.
How funny is that? And I think a lot of parents out there can relate to that, right? They may have never played soccer in their life, but their kid fell into the sport. Now they're 16-year veterans of, travel tournaments and travel
Yes.
practices and long days and even longer nights. And I can relate from my dad's perspective. For those that don't know, my father, we're on the West Coast. He has been president of Presidio Soccer League in San Diego for 27 years. He was the president of Cal South for about 2 years, and he's the current executive director of SoCal Soccer League, one of the largest gaming leagues here on the West Coast. He's been in the game at the executive leadership role within youth soccer for 31 or 2 years. Um, he started, he comes from a hockey background, right? He knows the game of hockey inside and out, up and down, left and right. But my stepbrother needed an outlet for his energy. So he got involved with soccer. There was no local soccer team. So he started a league up and started a club up and joined other clubs. And now all of a sudden, he's now spent 3 decades of his life within the game at multiple different levels. So I think your story and my story resonate well, but I think there's so many parents out there who come from that cut from the same cloth and turn to your resource as that sort of blueprint, as that guiding light to help them through the struggles that they have. So again, kudos to what you've been able to create. Hopefully through more of these discussions, we can start getting more members to the group. Obviously 21,000 members across the nation is remarkable, especially since this is now the second group that you've branched off of. So we'll see what we can do to keep driving those numbers. But the story that you mentioned regarding your wife, back in the day, that first date, now turning into your wife, not knowing soccer, trying to impress her. Talk to me a little bit about International Women's Day and what it means to you.
Well, women have played a big part in my life, obviously. Starting with my mom, and of course, I have my wife that I've been married to for 34 years, and I've got a 28-year-old daughter who's a special needs teacher.
Wow.
So, three out of four people closest to me are women, and you know, they really make the engine run. I mean, my family wouldn't run if they had just depend on me. Fortunately, all I had to do was basically deal with was discipline and transportation. But women basically make youth soccer run. If it wasn't for the soccer moms out there, uh, kids wouldn't have shoes. If they just left it up to dad solely, it would be total chaos. So, they play an important role, and I hope with our Women's Day celebration, with the magazine and everything, I hope that we can inspire the next generation of girls coming up to have a lifelong path in the game, not just their playing days, but days after their playing days. We need more women coaches, referees, administrators, club owners, from top to bottom. So hopefully we can do our little part here to inspire women to participate in the game throughout their lives.
Yeah, very well said. And I'm very much looking forward to, reading the article that you mentioned, what you did going into the community, getting real life sort of testimonials from women currently in the game, former players, current players, coaches, all aspects and all levels, as you mentioned, man. That is such a cool thing to do, highlighting such a important demographic to soccer and to the world. So kudos to you again for what you're doing with your magazine. What we'll do is we'll plug the magazine where they can find this specific article and then future articles moving forward in the comments section. This International Women's Day is important, and I think a lot of people out there know what's coming up this summer. But for those that don't, 2023 is the FIFA Women's World Cup, right? We had the Men's World Cup
Yes.
at the end of last year, and now we've got the women's version coming up here this summer. I'm excited, right? I love soccer. I consume soccer all the time. Like I said, every day, either reffing, playing, watching. I'm all about it. But you and I chatted a little bit, and you also have a big passion for the women's game as well. Talk to me. What are your thoughts on Team USA's chances this year at the World Cup?
I think their chances are great. What I'm really excited about is this year having maybe a transition and seeing if we can transition to the younger players without losing anything. Unfortunately, the rest of the world is catching up. I mean, you got some strong teams out there, France and Spain and the Lionesses from England. Um, so it's not going to be the cakewalk that it's been in past years, which is a good thing. It's only going to make the women better. But I'm really looking forward to seeing some of the young stars come on and see how they handle, the biggest stage of soccer there is, and I think they'll be just fine.
Yeah.
Talent is not an issue. So if they can mesh with the veteran leadership that they have, I'm really looking forward to seeing the young women play.
Yeah, well said. A couple points there, man. The parity in the women's game now is incredible, right? Any given day, any given team can win. Whereas
Yes,
previous years, maybe going back the last 12, 18, even going back to the Brandy Chastain days where Team USA was the dominant powerhouse force, and you sort of assumed that they would either make it deep in the tournament, get to the finals, or win the dang thing. And now it seems as though there are probably 4 or 5 teams that have an opportunity to win it. Of course, USA's in there. So very much looking forward to watching it. And then the other aspect is that sort of transition, right? The turning of the guard, as you mentioned. We
yes.
saw the men's side go through that same thing, and they performed well, I would say. The women's side, the powerhouses, the staples of the team that have been there for 3 cycles, 3 World Cup cycles, they're on the back end. They are, taking a step down, and they're allowing these young bucks to step up and play a huge role and impact the team. And I'm also looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a huge underlying story of how well we're able to perform, and what our results end up being is how well these younger kids are able to step up to, when the lights are the brightest, perform their best. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of interesting headlines and storylines coming into this year's Women's World Cup. Um, let's talk a little bit about something special that we're doing for the Soccer Parent Lifestyle Group. I think there's a
Okay.
a lot of parents out there, a lot of players, a lot of families that would love to attend the Women's World Cup. It's in New Zealand, it's in Australia. You get to see a whole nother culture, a whole nother society. The beauty of those places are in and of itself worth the trip. But we wanted to create a special trip in order for parents and players and families to be able to attend and see Team USA live. So here is a exclusive offer just for the Parent Lifestyle Group. You want to go to the games? You want to go see the World Cup live? experience a once in a lifetime event, we've got the trip for you. 7 nights accommodation. You're going to split the trip between Auckland, New Zealand and Wellington, New Zealand. You get breakfast provided each day of the trip, and you also get 2 match tickets to watch Team USA live. You get to watch USA versus Vietnam, and you get to watch USA versus the Netherlands. Both teams are pretty darn good. The Netherlands are dark horses for this year's event, and I think that might be one of the biggest games, especially in the group stages. So Buford, talk to me a little bit about why we wanted to provide this opportunity to this group in this way, in this manner.
Well, first of all, it's an opportunity for people in the group to go to a part of the world that a lot of people, it's really a once in a lifetime chance. You get to go to Australia, well, excuse me, New Zealand, and on top of that, you get to watch the U.S. Women's National Team play. I know we have a lot of girls whose parents are in the group that are aspiring to play at that level. Uh, and I personally know of a few that are playing for the youth national teams. So they're really looking to play at that level. And it's just a special opportunity. My daughter had the chance to go when she was in high school, and she still talks about that trip 12 years later. And I've never been, but like I said, she had the opportunity to go, and I'm glad I was able to provide that for her. And partnering with you guys with Two Footed Solutions, it just made sense to take this opportunity to be able to provide such a once in a lifetime trip. Uh, it's very affordable, like you say, 7 days, 2 matches in the group stage, one against Vietnam, which I'm not familiar with their team, but I am familiar with the Netherlands team, and that will not be a cakewalk. So I'm just excited to be a part of it and be able to provide this opportunity for group members should they want to take advantage of it.
Yeah, well said. Well said. This is incredible opportunity, as you mentioned. We wanted to do something special, especially since it's International Women's Day, and get this into the group's hands and let them take advantage if they're interested in it. We have partnered. We at Two Footed Solutions have partnered with DB Sports Tours. DB Sports Tours is one of the biggest names in group travel, right? Anything from your basic European tours all the way down to what we're classifying as solving the aging out pain. So for those players who are looking for a international football academy to be able to take their talents to the next level, maybe even get a scholarship or sign a pro contract, they have options, services, and programs just for you. But this is a special trip. We wanted to make sure that on International Women's Day, we are able to provide an opportunity to attend these once in a lifetime games and really get families interested in seeing Team USA live, travel with them, have the opportunity to do just that. So what we're going to do in the comment section, we're going to post the link to where you can learn more and register for the event. Now, space is limited. There is only a certain amount of spots available, and it will sell out. This is obviously Women's World Cup, so one of the biggest events of the summer. A can't miss and a must see, if you will. So if you're interested, get into the link, take a look at all the different options and all the different fine prints and everything. And if you have any questions, I'll also put my email out there. You can direct message me through Facebook. You can send me an email. Heck, you can even give me a call if you have any questions that need answered. Ultimately, here's an opportunity to go if you're interested in it. We want to do it specially for this group. We also have some pretty fantastic, if you will, giveaways, if you will. We're going to do some apparel Any person that signs up to go to the event, you'll get some apparel, a sweatshirt, a t-shirt. We're also going to give you some bag tags and a passport protector in the event that you don't have one. Got to make sure that passport stays protected while you're traveling internationally. Um, but yeah, that's it. Buford, what are your thoughts? Any final words before we part ways for this one?
Just excited to partner with you guys in DB Sports Tours, and just excited for anybody who gets a chance to go. If you're thinking about going, take a look at it. It is, no pressure, no forcing anyone, but it's just a once in a lifetime opportunity for people, especially people with daughters who play soccer. Um, I think it would be a lifetime memory making trip, and being the parent of a daughter who made that trip to that part of the world. It made me feel good that although I've never been, I gave her the opportunity to go, and that's a lot of what being a parent's about, is having your kids do things that you haven't done. So, um, if you're thinking about the trip, check into it. It's an opportunity of a lifetime.
Well said, my friend. Well said. Hey, this has been a pleasure. Thank you for your time. I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate you sharing your thoughts on what this Monumentous Day means for you and for women across the country, especially those who are associated with the beautiful game. I greatly appreciate it, my friend.
Thank you, Austin. I appreciate you having me.
Pleasure. Take a look at the comments, guys. Again, if you have any questions, I'll put my contact information. If you have any interest in going, register and let us know. Let us know that you've registered. We're going to get you that those gifts and those giveaways to you. We want to make sure that we have your correct sizes and all that good stuff. So if you do end up signing up, please let us know so we can get you the goodies into your hands. This is Austin and Buford signing off. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.